on here. So we should be live on Facebook now. Let me double check on my phone. That's why you can't kind of have them all open at the same time. Yes, we are live on Facebook. Hey,
I don't even know how to do that.
That's okay. That's okay. We could show you that at another time if you'd like. So I actually had we have a members group, and it's sometimes it's the simplest thing. And in the members group, it was like this person was getting people to come along to Zoom calls, and I said, "Oh, that's great because you get all the people's emails." And they're going, "No, I'm not." And I go, "We get them to register, and then you can import all their emails out." And they went, "Oh, I don't know how to do that." And in 15 minutes in the membership call, I just went click, 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 and taught them. It's now recorded. It's there for all the members. But it's just sharing that simple things sometimes that can actually help you.
Well, that's right. I mean, I know how to share my screen and I know how to record the Zoom call, but I just don't know how to get it onto Facebook Live at the same time as on Zoom. I have no idea.
There you go. Well, we're doing it now, so we're live now, and we haven't even introduced you, Christine.
Right.
So, Christine Convey, very, very welcome, and thank you so much for coming and having this interview with me. Although people may have seen us just talking about other stuff where we started, but that's okay. It's a casual interview of meet the members in the group. How are you, Christine, today?
I'm very, very well. Thank you so much, Carmel.
My pleasure. I'm so happy to have you here, and it's my pleasure to be able to chat with you because I know we met. It's actually must be a year ago now, is it?
Yeah,
close to
12 months ago, I think.
Yeah, and like we don't often, make the time to stop and actually chat to each other. Like not just you and I, but a lot of times we actually don't do it. So it's really awesome to get this and be able to have some time to chat to you. So that's awesome. So it's nothing scary. We just want to chat and see, tell us a little bit about Christine. So I know we had a bit of a chat before we started and you're having some great success in your business, but can you tell me briefly of who Christine was and what she did to transition into who Christine is now?
Okay, so would you believe in another life, it almost seems like, so a very long time ago, decades ago, I used to be a mathematics teacher in secondary schools.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And then in 2002, I was diagnosed with a very aggressive form of breast cancer. And that took me a few years to get over and regain my strength and be well again. I did many things to help my healing. One of those was to return to my meditation practice more often than what I was doing it. In fact, I was going back to my daily practice. I found I needed to practice every day to strengthen my mind-body connection.
Yeah.
When I was well, I thought, I don't want to go back into high school teaching mathematics. I think I'll become a meditation teacher instead, because the benefits of a regular practice are just so many. You become stress-free, you're not anxious about anything, and life just flows along beautifully. So after doing many, many courses,
As we do,
to become a meditation teacher and now a master meditation teacher. I just love what I do. I'm passionate about teaching and guiding others into what meditation is all about. A lot of people have some preconceived ideas about meditation. They think you've got to sit cross-legged on the floor and chant Om. I mean, you can do that, that's fine, but there are many, many other ways to meditate and lots of techniques and tools to use. So that's me in a nutshell now.
So that's what you do now. And I love that. I think that the conversation is quite timely. Because I know you're right. We have a lot of preconceived ideas of what meditation is. So if you were to describe it to somebody who has maybe some preconceived ideas, how would you best describe meditation and how to do it effectively?
First of all, I'd say step one is you need to learn how to relax, deeply and profoundly relax the body. Because when you learn how to do that, the mind goes with it. The mind becomes relaxed and slows down, and it's not like the monkey mind anymore, you know, swinging from tree to tree to tree, and the thought stream racing at 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
When you learn to relax deeply and profoundly, the mind goes with it. That's step one. So that's what I teach first.
Yeah.
Through things like the relaxing body scan or the progressive muscle relaxation technique, or even the rapid relaxation technique, I call it, quite a short one. So there's a number of ways you can do that. There are different little guided practices that I teach people so they really can experience what it is to be deeply, profoundly relaxed. Not the sort of relaxation that you just sit in your armchair and watch TV.
No, it's very different. Yeah.
Or it's a much deeper form of relaxation than that.
Because I know a lot of people, again, that do meditate, and sometimes, like, I like to meditate, and I'm sure I don't do it correctly, whatever that is, I don't know. But quite often it's a 10-minute meditation and whatever, but to get so deeply relaxed kind of makes me think that you need to be doing it longer than that.
Yes, in a formal setting, when you're practicing formal meditation, that's step one, to become deeply and profoundly relaxed, whether it's sitting up in a lovely open and upright posture, we call it, or some people need to lay down. It depends, you know, perhaps what physical challenges they might be having.
Yes.
So it's it really is key. There's no way you can meditate properly in a formal setting unless you are deeply, profoundly relaxed.
Beautiful. Love it. So, so how long have you been doing the meditation now? How many years?
I've been teaching meditation now for over 20 years.
Wow.
I've been a master meditation teacher for the last 3 years, and also a energy healer. So I do healing as well now.
Beautiful. Yeah. So when you say you do healing, how does that manifest? How is that in your business?
Right. So I use pure energy. So I channel healing energy either over Zoom or Skype or face-to-face with people. All it entails is me to sit with someone quietly, and they don't have to do anything. They just sit there. I don't ask them any questions. They might like to share some information with me before we begin, usually about what sort of healing they are looking for, whether it's emotional healing, mental healing. In fact, emotional healing and mental healing is much easier to do than physical healing.
Right.
Yeah, because by the time people need physical healing, they've usually gone past, they've internalized whatever hurt that they are carrying, whether it's emotional baggage or mental conditioning problems or whatever it is, and then it manifests itself in the body.
Yeah, it's
themselves a space to heal properly. Then challenge comes along.
It's interesting you say that, because I know we were on a webinar the other day. We were talking about business.
Yes.
And, you know, people a lot of the time say, oh, I believe it when I see it. And it's like, no, everything starts with a thought.
Yes.
Then you emote it, and then the physicality takes longer. So you're saying kind of the same. When you physically see you have a problem, you almost have to reverse engineer that, see what emotion is coming up, and then address the thought through meditation in order to change it.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty awesome.
The mind-body continuum is one entity. The mind is not separate from the body.
Yeah.
The mind-body continuum, I call it, is one entity. No way you can split the two.
No, but I think it happens in a nanosecond. A thought comes up, but in the body, it's not in the physical world, if you like. We can think it. Like, I can become a multimillionaire right now in my thought, like 2 seconds. And then you emote it into action, and it's the physicality is just the last part of that continuum, if you like, to actually show up.
That's right.
And that's why when people say, I believe it when I see it, it's like, no, you have to believe it way before you see it. Otherwise, it's not going to do. So tell me, in a business perspective, so you're showing, you know, success within that business area, because it is a business, I'm presuming, as well. It's a business to sustain you. What, how do you define success within that area?
That's a very good question, Carmel. You know, I don't define success in terms of dollars.
Yeah.
I define success in terms of human factors and how connected people are, and the results I get for myself as well as for others.
Yes.
So the dollars and the cents take care of themselves in a way. That's not what I focus on. I do focus on abundance, but the abundance I focus on is a very human, grounded based sort of abundance, in tune with the natural world that we live in. Yeah. So that's the abundance I bring to mind and manifest for myself, is healing, first of all, for myself, and then for others through gentle meditation practices or pure energy healing, whatever it is. But that's how I measure success. It can be a numbers thing sometimes when you're looking at the number of clients you have or the number of people in your meditation class, that type of thing. But it's not something I get hung up on, if you want to think of it
No,
that
that's
way.
fine. It's just everybody has a different measure and definition of success. So I was just curious to you, how do you measure your success? So it's a feeling. It's more of a feeling and a knowing.
It's more of a human connection or a human consciousness measure, a higher vibration consciousness. Consciousness, if you like to think of it that way, that we can.
So how do you measure that for yourself? How like, if that's your measure of success, which is absolutely fine, how do you know you're there?
So I know I'm there when I'm feeling well. I'm in the zone, if you want to think of it that way. I'm living my daily life, meditating all the time. You come to a point where you are meditating all the time, whether you're doing it formally or informally. You're living your whole life as a meditation practice. So I measure that by my energy frequency, my connection with infinite consciousness. It's really hard to describe, to put it into words. It's really, really hard. Unless you're acting that way yourself or living your life that way yourself, it's really hard to put into words to describe.
Right. Cool. Okay. So I know, again, kind of looking at, you know, it's all about the person and business as well. It's kind of, you know, especially within this group. So I know we've all done this. So I'm going to ask you, what are some of the biggest mistakes that you've made along the way?
Right, some of the biggest mistakes I've made.
We've all done it.
Yes, is getting hung up on technology and social media and all these things. You know, they can be very time consuming, I've found, especially when you're not hugely technically literate yourself. And I found, you know what, I just need to let all that stuff go. It is what it is. I engage with it when I have the time or I feel I have the need to, but it's not something I now devote a whole heap of time to like I used to previously.
Yeah.
And letting go a lot of that, what's happening? I am now attracting more clients because I'm not so hung up and not devoting much time to technology anymore and things like social media and stuff.
Wow. Yeah,
it's a
fair
more
enough.
holistic way of being, I think.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. What is one of the hardest decisions you've ever had to make within your business?
One of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, would you believe, is not employing an assistant. You know, I had a lady who was so keen to join my business when I was putting feelers out there, you know, for people to join the business, to be an assistant, and it just didn't work out. She just, I guess, wasn't on quite the same page as I was, you could say.
Yeah.
And while I do have co-facilitators that come and work with me, say if I'm running a retreat, especially like a 5-day or a 10-day retreat, I will have co-facilitators with me on that retreat.
Yeah.
But I've just let that go. Maybe down the track, I will need to look at bringing somebody else into the business, having an assistant. But that was a really hard decision because she was a lovely person. We got on well, we were good friends, but we just weren't a good business fit together.
Right.
So that was a really hard decision.
Yeah, and look, we have to make them. I think in business we spend a lot of time, as I'm sure when you were teaching as well, being an employee, and we suddenly have to try and change that frame of mind to being an employer. Yes. And even though we're our own employer, because the buck stops with us as to where the income comes in. And it's not something we've been trained to do because society quite often will train us to be good workers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of our conditioning, if you like. So it's a whole change and a whole shift. So well done on making that hard decision, because they can be some really challenging ones. So other than meditation, which I know that we've discussed, what are some of your other success habits? You know, do you have, some people have lists, people have to-do lists, other people have whiz-bang technology things to keep them on track. What are some of yours?
I don't have whiz-bang technology to keep me on track. I do use to-do lists. I have a diary, a journal that I use. In fact, I use my diary. I've got a really great diary, and I use it as a to-do list.
Yeah.
And I have a journal where I journal heaps of stuff. When I'm in a really creative flow, I'll jot down stuff in my journal. It could be, you know, morning, noon, or night. So I always have my journal with me. Not always my diary.
Yeah.
So I write down my to-do list, then I've got it in my mind anyway. Once I write it down, I've got it. But my journal, I keep my journal with me, you know, pop it in my handbag. Always have my journal and pen handy for when I'm being very creative and creative thoughts are flowing.
I usually find that I'm like that in the shower or in the bloody car when I can't write anything. Although a very dear friend of mine has discovered, I think they're crayons for kids to write in the bath. But she has discovered she can write on the wall in the shower with these crayons if she gets in there. And that was a really great idea, because that's usually where I end up. So you use a diary and a journal, awesome. So what, like we know a lot of women in particular, but not exclusively, that are starting out or they've been in business for a while, and then the business is starting to grow a little bit and they kind of go, oh my God, how can I keep all these balls in the air? Yes. So what would be some of your tips for that? And I know you're probably, first thing you're going to say is, you know, when you think that you need to meditate even more. And I get that. I've been one of those people that has the monkey mind going sometimes. But how would you, like, what tips would you give somebody to try and not just quieten the mind, but to try and bring it all together to, you know, take those steps to success?
Yeah, that's where I do use technology. I have a website where all my clients are listed, and you know, I have also a spreadsheet that I use so I know where all my clients are up to, and an email system that's built in, you know, to my website that I use, a really good email system. I might shoot out an email sometimes only once a month, sometimes once a fortnight.
So is that a CRM that's built into your website? Yes, is that what you mean?
It's in the back end, you know, you call it the dashboard or whatever you want to say. I find that really helpful. So I've got, and in my spreadsheet, I have all contact details as well. So, and as I say, some notes about that I've needed to make about a particular client is all kept in that spreadsheet.
Oh, so it's a spreadsheet. It's not in your actual CRM.
No, I've sort of got two.
Yeah.
One's more for emails, that type of thing. The other one, I suppose, is I just find it easier for me, the way I use technology, to have all my clients listed there, you know, all their contact details and any notes that I've needed to make about that particular client is all there. So it's at my fingertips whenever I need it. On my phone, it's on my laptop. It's right there whenever I need it for a particular client.
So I guess the message is keep detailed information and use technology.
Yes. Even though I'm not very crash hot with it, I guess I've learned to use it in a way that works for me. That I can
absolutely cope. Yeah, because I have a CRM, client relationship, which is that all the emails and everything, I can send emails and a campaign and everything through there, but it's also individual I can put notes into each person as well. So it's all in one spot.
Oh, right.
But maybe it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah, maybe I can look at doing that, but I'm not clever enough to have done that yet.
I think that's just some of the old beliefs we hold, because I was the same. I'm not the techie person, and now the freedom that being able to automate parts of my business has brought is just like I told a story there just recently where I was sitting like this and doing a webinar, and my phone was going ding 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 in the background, where there was sales going in for things while I was sitting watching this, and that was just it was like, oh my God, it's all working.
So I think that is my next step, to put some better systems into place.
Yes. And I think, look, you're right, when you start putting whatever system into place that's going to work for you. But as you escalate, I found myself anyway, to stop the monkey mind so much, was actually putting some stuff in place and having to learn it, so that I wouldn't have to do that. And guess what? You think, oh my God, the stuff will stop. But what it does is it actually frees up your mind to take on the next level of learning.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Yes.
It's not that You know, it stops when we get to here. It's an ever evolving, whatever
Oh,
that is.
yes. We're always learning, aren't we? We're lifelong learners.
That's exactly it. When we realize that, we go, oh my God, I just thought I had to take the next step. We just keep going.
Yes.
It's cool. So tell me, what is your biggest joy in life?
My biggest joy, I guess, if I'm honest, is being
Yes,
with
please.
my children and grandchildren. Give me great joy. Great joy.
Beautiful. And do they live close to you?
They're a little bit spread out around the country, but we use things like Zoom and of course the phone, and physically meet up whenever we can, whenever that's possible, of course.
Beautiful.
But the 5 grandchildren give me great joy.
Okay, beautiful, beautiful. And what ages do they range from?
They range from 9 to 18.
Oh wow, big age range. Yes, that's awesome.
9-year break, from the youngest to the eldest.
Yeah, this is a question I like to ask people because it's kind of a different kind of questions. But what's one of the most spontaneous things you've ever done?
Oh, I did a painting. That's one of the most spontaneous things I've ever done. I've always told myself I can't draw, I can't paint, I'm not artistic. I can write. I can, write, I've written a book. I can write.
Beautiful.
But being creative in that pure artistic way of drawing or actually painting with a paintbrush, I've always sort of had this thought in the back of my mind. I guess because I wasn't good at it at school. I thought, that's just not me. I can't do that.
Yeah.
We tell ourselves these things. We can't do that.
Absolutely.
And I did it. I just jumped in and did this painting. And I'm just so glad I did, because even though it didn't turn out the way the teacher had her painting, I'm quite happy with my individual interpretation of the
beautiful. It can bring so much joy, can't it? I actually did some paintings years ago. I have a cockatoo up on my wall over there. But like that, I was like, really? But I loved it. And it's so uniquely yours then as well, isn't it?
It's a quite liberating feeling to jump in and do something that you thought you'd never, ever, ever be able to do.
Exactly right. And no comparison, no nothing. It is what it is. So I can't believe we've been talking for nearly 30 minutes already. But one last question would be so what is the silliest thing you've ever heard somebody say about you?
The silliest thing. Now you've got me thinking. The silliest thing. Oh, no, my daughter in Sydney. My daughter in Sydney says about me, one of the silliest things I ever do is, it's such a small thing, she laughs every time she sees me do it. I like to set a table just so, and have people around so we can all, share in the conversation and make it look really welcoming and pretty when I lay a table. But things have to be just so. And if my daughter puts something up one end and I think it should be down the other end, I switch it. If you've ever watched that show Downton Abbey, where they set these huge tables just so the chairs have to be out or in from the table at just the right distance and all of that. She rolls her eyes and says, oh, there goes Mum again. She's just crazy. The table's never right unless she does it herself.
That's so cool. We all have such little things that are ridiculous. Yeah.
Ridiculous stuff. What does it matter if the bowl of fruit's up one end and not down the other end? What does it matter? But to me, it's got to be just everything has to be placed just so.
And it's great to embrace those differences too. So, Christine, it's been absolute pleasure talking to you today. But let me ask you this, is if somebody wants to get in contact with you or something like that, what's the best way to do that?
Oh, just drop me an email or send me a message on Facebook or
So under Christine Convey. So what's your email address?
email is info@health, HEALTH, then the letter N for Nelly, then the word harmony, HARMONY, for the digit for life.
Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. That's awesome. So if you want to get in contact with Christine, then you can message her there. Christine, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure getting to know more about you. And I really think it's such a gift to the world to educate people on meditation. I think we do have a lot of preconceived ideas. But we need to make sure that we get you some more techie stuff and start automating some of that for you too.
That's true.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Awesome. Thank you so much, my darling. And yeah, keep in touch and we'll talk soon.
Yes. Most welcome. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks,
Bye
Carmen.
for me. Bye.
Bye. Bye.